Yo, what up, Chai here? I'm kinda stuck in a pickle right now. As you can see, I got this modern game console so I can play the latest games, but I also can play retro games via Nintendo's online service. And I also have the Gamecube on me. I do like playing the older games more and occasionally play the most trendy games out there, but which one's better to play? As I'm growing older in life, I've soon realized that playing retro games are more fun and enjoyable for me. When it comes to modern games, I do have fun with a group of friends, but sometimes I just lose interest in playing them if I were to play by myself. I've been collecting games all my life. I just like seeing the library of games displayed on my shelves. Most of the titles on those shelves I don't have currently, but I do plan on receiving them when I settle into my own home. So let's go with the topic with the little background of my life to my experience for both modern and retro games. Starting out with the retro games, I started out with the Sony PlayStation because it was a hand-me-down from my uncle. The majority of the games are just racing games and catches my brother's eye and became a car enthusiast. Then my mother gave me a Game Boy Advance for Christmas and I fell in love with it. While my brother was given the Nintendo DS, we would always play each other's games every so often. Then to follow up with the Nintendo Gamecube, which was given to me on my 7th birthday. It was nice seeing this colorful console being displayed on my television and loved looking at the graphics. All those games were just appealing to me and I would want to hold on to this sucker for my dear life if I have to. And eventually we got a Wii. Still love that thing, but you know, our friends were the most hyped about certain consoles at the time. One of my Christmases I got the Xbox 360 and my brother got the PS3. Now this is the part that we got introduced to online multiplayer. This was technically our first modern game since everybody was playing Left 4 Dead or Call of Duty at the time. I was able to join the tram and was able to purchase them, and guess what game I bought? Black Ops. This was my favorite Call of Duty game, not only for multiplayer games, but for playing zombies. Just seeing my friends and I racked up on levels until one person dies, then we all die. A couple of years later, my friends fell into the hole of Minecraft and Black Ops 2. We would always go back and forth playing these games. If we're dying a lot, then we would just switch between these two games. Yes, we were no-lifers for a good year. I didn't even know what a girlfriend was till I hit 7th grade. But then time goes on into the future where I started to lose interest of playing these types of games. There were so many AAA titles to play, and I had enough friends to jump on other games that I didn't even own. Not that I'm a broke boy or anything, but I was a broke boy if anything. During my senior year, I got a job and was able to buy games I wanted. I had to buy an Xbox One so I'm not the odd one out and catch up with the rest of my friends, not really because I built a computer so I have more options to play modern games, but eventually I used it to play Smash Bros. Melee. Okay, so that's enough of that little timeline, so why do I think I like playing the retro games more than the AAA titles? Just the usual me going through the internet as a preteen and watching these YouTubers own a collection of games and playing them. I did purchase retro games throughout the year, and when I bought them, they're just more enjoyable. The reason I play the modern games is because all my friends own them too. It's just me trying to fit in with the society and just join whatever popular title is out. Yes, I still play them today, but for my downtime, I like to go back to the games I grew up with. Going back to the games I played before will inspire me to play it again or even complete it when I didn't. Gamers love the older games so much that the game companies even released the older games into modern consoles so kids nowadays can enjoy the games that adults loved back in the day. Seeing all these graphics and resolution bump up into the modern TV brings nostalgia to our inner childhood. Your ordinary gamer would discover the newest games coming out to the series and would just end up selling or trade the last game they spent their life on and move on and continue to play the newest title. But even though I still enjoyed it back in the day, I love to play the old games and play the ones I haven't even touched yet. So I do collect games which are either in my backlogs or that I'm not even gonna touch, but seeing these games wait for me just makes me more interested. It's just more beneficial to people to just sit down and enjoy a storyline instead of ranking up and getting the highest prestige ranking. But games today have implemented a season in which the ranking system would just restart when a new season is released and would have to start all over again. That just makes me lose more interested in playing these types of games because you're pretty much achieving the same achievements and doing it all over again. Sure, your skill is still there, so I guess it doesn't matter to you. I'm just more interested in retro games since they grab the user's attention and want to get lost in their imaginary world instead of just grinding online multiplayer to get really good kill ratios. I'm gonna stick with my roots for a while. If you need to play games to play the new ones, so be it, but don't forget the memories that you've enjoyed before setting off into a different user. Okay, now let's recap. Most of the retro games give story-based or a narrative element so it can grab the user's attention and gives context to what the story is about. They usually have simple controls and it's easy to pick up and go on with the adventure. Modern games may have a certain campaign adventure, but the majority of the players play online multiplayer to rank up. But when they split the games into seasons, then you're back in the bottom unless you have that certain perk that makes you unlock a weapon that you love using. Plus you have to unlock the season pass for every season and unlock all the features that you need or don't. Depending on what console or platform you're on, you would have to pay the online services to play with other players online, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it does take a good chunk of your money out of your bank account. I'm not really counting indie games in this because there are just newer games that are inspired from retro games. Don't worry, I still own the Nintendo Switch and still play that because of Smash Bros and a few others, but it isn't bad going a couple generations and play the games you really wanted to play and now own and discover new storylines and more background histories. If you have the time, don't be afraid to grab your older console and just play it for a bit and see what it's like playing like a kid again. Unless you grew up with Call of Duty, of course. I'm not against these games like that, but I do prefer playing the older games and discovering the games I didn't play yet back when I was like a kid. Needless to say, I'm more of a retro gamer. Looking back to the AAA titles I used to play, it does bring back memories staying up until 2 AM and falling asleep with a headset in your head. But I have better memories playing retro games since that what brings all my close friends together and have a blast playing them. I know, everybody has their own perspective on their gaming taste, but I do like playing competitive melee and that's not stopping anytime soon.